Yo, hey, Cooking 1-5 here. I'm here with my little brother. We're doing session 2 of our lunch and learn. We decided that while we're going to lunch anyway, maybe we'll shoot a few videos, teach you about cooking, maximum flavor, life lessons, whatever comes up. We went to lunch about 40 minutes ago. We've been recording. I decided I'm probably going to cut all this out. He couldn't make up his mind where he wanted to eat, so we pretty much drove around town for about 40 minutes. Ended up at Subway.
Oh, geez, first thing I suggested.
Yeah, 19 Subways I think we drove by, and then we turned around and ended up eating at the first Subway we went by. That, by the way, he never said anything about Subway. He kept carrying on about McDonald's again. But
Always you.
we got our Subway. Got some chips here. Eat chips, sandwich, and talk to you people. So, what do you want to learn about today? Session 1, we did a little talk on free lunch. Ate White Castle because that's what he wanted. Starting to see a pattern here. We always eat where you want. But maybe this time we need to talk about maximum flavor, some cooking techniques, tips. They give us any napkins? So, let's get on with it. Maximum flavor. Obviously, if you want maximum flavor, probably the best thing to do is follow one of my recipes. If you watch our videos, you can learn some techniques to release maximum flavor. But there are just some general tips that you could follow to release maximum flavor as well. If you know what you're doing, you really don't have to have one of my recipes. You could start with an average recipe, and you could improve upon it. Apply some of the special cooking techniques, and really you can make just about any recipe good. You just change it and make it better.
Yeah.
So, how do you do that, though? How do you take a crappy recipe, excuse my language, how do you take a recipe that's not so good and turn it into a great recipe? Well, I like to look at things from the big picture kind of thing. And the way I see it is there's only a couple kinds of ingredients. You've got basic ingredients. Those are ingredients that are necessary. It's like flour to bread. If you're going to make bread, it's kind of hard to make bread without flour or something like flour. If you're going to make cookies, you got to have dough. You got to have dough. Which again comes from flour and stuff like that. So, basic ingredients. If you're going to cook a steak dinner, you got to have beef. You got to have a steak. Pretty basic. And then you have, and this is where your commercial outfits really mess up, is you have filler ingredients. These are things to just, they're in there for no reason half the time. It's just to kind of cheapen up a recipe. They're not really needed half the time, or they might be needed for certain consistency that you're trying to achieve. But the most important ingredient, these are the ingredients that you get your flavor from. These are your critical ingredients. And so once you learn how to identify these types of ingredients, you can tweak a recipe. You take any recipe and you can say, okay, this is a filler ingredient. I'm just going to use a little less fillers. Maybe even take it completely out, depending. And then you look at the ingredients that, these are your flavor ingredients. Some example of some flavor ingredients would be sugar, white sugar, brown sugar. Don't matter what color. Vanilla extract. Different kinds of spices and seasonings. Chocolate chips, and a chocolate chip cookie. You take a chocolate chip cookie recipe. Vanilla extract is a flavor ingredient. Chocolate chips are a flavor ingredient. Sugar is a flavor ingredient. You just need more of those. So, if you have a recipe, some commercial recipe, let's say it calls for 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. We just increase it to 2. If you got 2 teaspoons vanilla extract, and remember, vanilla extract, not imitation vanilla. You need real vanilla extract. But going from 1 teaspoon to 2 teaspoons, you just double the flavor. Same thing goes for sugar. Let's say you're making pizza dough. You find a recipe and it tells you to start with a little water, a little oil, a little yeast, and put some sugar in there. It tells you to put 2-3 teaspoons of sugar in there. Well, sugar being a flavor ingredient, you might decide to put 5 or 6 in there instead. Again, you just double the flavor. And with most things, too much flavor is not a bad thing. The sugar, you got to be careful. There's limits. You can't add 5 pounds of sugar to your cookie recipe. You're not gonna have the right consistency. Chocolate chip cookies. It calls for 1 bag of chocolate chips. Use 1.5 bags. That way more cookies, all the cookies got a nice amount of chips in them. More flavor. Here's a prime example. How many chocolate chip cookie recipes call for semi-sweet chocolate chips? You ever notice that? Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Are you listening? You're
Yeah.
supposed to be learning this stuff.
Yeah.
You make that sandwich already? Semi-sweet chocolate chips. The recipe calls for semi-sweet. Well, milk chocolate chips taste better. Why don't you just use that instead? Boom, more flavor. If you take any old Joe's chocolate chip cookie recipe, you switch from semi-sweet to milk chocolate, add a little more sugar, add a little more brown sugar, double or triple your vanilla, and flavor just got powerful. It got real powerful. And there you have it. So really, you can take pretty much anything. Name something you'd like to know how to cook.
Well,
Pick something. You like to eat something.
I know, cook everything.
No, you don't.
Yeah, all the instructions are online.
Pick something. You're going to go home tonight and cook something. What are you going to cook?
Steak sandwiches.
Steak sandwich. There you go. I had a steak sandwich the other day from some restaurant. that's specialized in making steak sandwiches. You get a hoagie bun. It's not like Subway. They're kind of like Subway, but this is all hot stuff. Well, Subway's got hot stuff too, but that's all these people do. Hot stuff, steak sandwiches, chicken sandwiches, grilled kind of stuff. And there's a pile of this cheap meat on there. Hardly had any flavor to it. I asked for peppers, I asked for onions, I asked for cheese. There's hardly any of this stuff on there. It's just this big old hoagie bread, a bunch of cheap meat on it, hardly anything else. How do you increase the flavor like that? Well, you make it homemade. So you make it homemade, you choose the right bread. You get some nice sweet bread or something. You know, whatever your favorite kind of bread is. You use high quality meat. You don't use generic brands. You use good cheese. You know, and more of it. You put seasonings on it, you put onions, you put peppers. Basically, whatever you like, you put more of. And that's really all cooking is. It's more of the good stuff and less of the nasty stuff. It's name brand instead of generic. It's matching up the right flavors, you know. It's like the guy that first thought of putting together peanut butter and jelly, or chocolate and peanut butter, tomato soup, grilled cheese,
Peanut butter and syrup.
what?
Peanut butter and syrup.
Peanut butter and syrup.
Yeah, maple syrup.
Peanut butter and maple syrup.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Sandwich.
Peanut butter and syrup sandwich.
Yeah, maple syrup.
Who makes that?
I do.
There's no hope with you. I don't believe that.
You never had peanut butter and maple syrup?
You put maple syrup
On
and
bread.
peanut butter on bread and eat it. No, you don't.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna make you eat one tonight.
I'll eat it gladly.
Hey! I'm trying to shoot a video here! Maybe that was one of our fans.
Yeah. This guy's about to hit you.
Whoa, buddy, don't hit our car. You see that guy? He just backed out of there like he didn't know what he was looking at. Let's take chips, for example. Imagine you got online, you found a homemade chip recipe.
Like plain Lay's with mustard.
Cheese. You want to use name brand cheese. You want to use more of it. You want to use more of the good ingredients, less of the filler. Let's look at the back of this, for example. Whole corn. That's a basic ingredient, right? Sunflower and or canola oil. Again, that's a basic ingredient. Whole wheat, brown rice flour, whole oat flour. These are basic ingredients. Now what do we start getting to? Sugar. It's a flavor ingredient, right? So you want to use a little more of that. Salt. Salt's a flavor ingredient, believe it or not. Salt enhances the flavor. You got to use the right kind of salt. We talked about this many times. Kosher salt, Himalayan pink salt, these kind of things. They release the best flavor. Cow milk, buttermilk, Parmesan cheese. Parmesan cheese is a flavor ingredient. You use a little more, get a little more flavor.
The point?
Hmm?
What's the point?
My point is, you take any recipe and you can make it better if you understand the basic kinds of ingredients. You got basic ingredient number 1, filler ingredients number 2, flavor ingredients number 3. The basic ingredients are called basic ingredients because they're just needed. Filler ingredients you usually need less of. What's that guy going? He just got out of his car, got a pair of boots out of the trunk that look brand new, and he's going in the shoe store. Why he keep them in his trunk? Anyway, then you got your flavor ingredients number 3. You always need more of those. What's that guy doing? Mailman must be on lunch.
What's that one? What's dessert today?
You ain't got much to say over there.
I said, what's dessert?
Dessert?
Yeah, what are we getting for dessert today?
We can't have cake every day.
Then what cake? It's an ice cream today.
Freezing outside.
Best time to get ice cream. What are you doing?
What, you want one or something?
No.
Can't believe you're done already.
Oh no, you take 20 minutes to eat.
I like to enjoy my food.
I enjoy my food.
Enjoy the flavor, when it has it. Alright. I'm going to tell you another little secret, little tip. Now this isn't necessarily a flavor tip, although some people might think it is. It kind of is, but really this is the basic life tip, I guess you'd say. I got a little bit of chips left in this bag, and they're kind of hard to get to, little pieces and stuff like that. Just crunch them up. Crunch them up. Make sure they're all nice and tiny pieces in there.
I'm sure everybody knows that.
And then you want to position your bag just like that. That's a quick, easy way to get those tiny pieces of chips out of your bag. I've even seen it on the road, like if I'm driving down the road, I'm trying to drive and eat, I'll just go ahead and crunch up the whole bag. That way I can eat it that way. But, you get them crumbs all over you over there. Oh, I got a few crumbs myself.
So your crumbs.
Alright. If we was eating inside, we could get a free refill. You think they'd get mad if we went back in?
I'm good.
Well, there you have it. That concludes our second session. Second session, maximum flavor. I guess you call this session recipe enhancement. This is our recipe enhancement session. And now you know how you can really take anybody's recipe and make it better. But it won't be as good as mine, I'm sure, but it's off to a good start. Alright. You want some ice cream, you said?
Yeah, so we're gonna go get now ice cream.
Alright, well he wants some ice cream, so I realize it's been an hour.
Let's drive around for 40 minutes.
I ain't driving around. You can tell me where you want your ice cream. You ain't getting it. It's ridiculous.
We go to the same place every time for ice cream.
I ain't had ice cream in months, I don't think. It sounds good, though, I'll tell you that. You know what sounds good? Soft serve.
Yeah, that's the only place you want to go.
It's a little cold outside, but we can turn the heat on.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. We're going to go get some ice cream, soft serve. Let me put the seatbelt on and... yeah. There you go. We're out.